everybody, and
welcome to Tales from the Cab. Welcome to Tales from the Cab.
hello everyone. We're just coming off the M25 at Junction 9, the Leatherhead turnoff, and I just want to tell you a little story. I've done one of these before, only one, and quite a few people liked it. It was the one about the hidden baby. That sounds like a bloody horror film. But yeah, quite a few people liked it and said, can I do another one and maybe keep it separate from the normal stuff that I do? So this is it. Now the main story is me picking someone up from Leatherhead and taking them to Dorking. I cannot show you any of the original footage of that because, well, it became apparent why I can't show you any of it. Nothing. I can't show you any of it at all because it's it's a bit sensitive. I can't even take you to the exact spot where I picked this woman up, just in case it was where she lived. It would be a little bit embarrassing if someone saw the footage of me talking about this person and they could put two and two together, and yeah, it could be it would be wrong, put it that way. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you from here to where she wanted to be dropped off, and it was the route that we took was the exact route on this day. Now while we're doing this route, I will go over maybe 3 or 4 different other stories as well. They will all loop into one in the end, and they all boil down to one subject really, the subject that not a lot of people like to talk about, and mainly men that don't like to talk about this, and it's their mental health. You know the saying that they always say about it is, oh come on, man up. Yeah, it doesn't actually quite work that way, does it? Now recently I've had quite a few emails and messages in the comment section about how much this channel is helping people with their mental health, and that, I think that's really nice of you to be open and honest about something like that, and I'm touched that you think that I'm helping you out in that way. Mental health is something that runs in my family, and it is something that also runs in my wife's family as well. So we do take this one quite serious, and I know I'm getting a bit dark on you, and I will try and lighten up the mood a bit, but this is really what this video is about, and it's about how many bloody mistakes I make as well on this trip. You know, schoolboy errors that being a private hire driver, I wasn't even an inexperienced private hire driver neither. I've been doing it a few years when I picked this woman up, and I should know better, but yeah, we'll come to that in a second. So what we do, we get back to the main story now. Let's just say I've picked this woman up back behind us, okay? I pulled up in a place where the app was telling me to be. I was bang on the dot of where I should be. It was a housing estate, so it's very hard to get your numbers right on the housing estate. You know, it might say a number, say 58 or something, but they're in blocks, so you could be in the wrong place. But on the dot that the customer puts on the app, I was bang on it. I couldn't get any closer to it. So I'm sitting there waiting for this woman to turn up, and I'm not going to say her name, and I'm looking around all over the place for her, and I could not find her. And in them days, the app run out of time. If the app runs out of time, the job cancels, and I can drive away, and I get £4.50. The customer has to pay £6. The other bit goes to the operator, and she's getting very close to this time. So I'm looking at my app as this scaffolder just pulls out in front of me. Thanks, mate. So we'll get back to the story, and the first mistake I make is I'm concentrating too much on the app. I'm looking at my phone screen and watching the time on it click up all the time, and I'm getting really close to the cancellation time. And what happens is the amount of times that people have got in as the job has cancelled is beyond the joke. They leave it to the last possible second, and sometimes they get in the car as the job is cancelled, and I can't take them. I can't legally take them, and I'm not going to take them for a £4.50 cancellation fee. So they have to get out of the car, and it can be quite bloody awkward and quite confrontational with a customer that you don't know, you know, and you've got to say, sorry, the job's cancelled. You took too long to get into the car, and you need to get out. And sometimes it does end in a bit of a row. But you know, the rules are the rules, and you know, you can order another one, and it might be me, not necessarily be me. You could be standing right next to me, and if you order another one, it might go to someone else who might be 5 or 6 miles away. That's the way the apps work. They don't work how you think they work. So I'm about 10 seconds away from getting a cancellation fee, and all of a sudden the door opens. I didn't see the person get in, which was another mistake from me. And I said, oh, hello. As I was looking at my app and sliding the bar across to start the trip, I didn't want the trip cancelling on her. And she said hello back, and that was it. She put her seatbelt on, and I started to drive off. And as I started to drive off, I said to her, oh, you're going to Denby's, the wine vineyard. That's where the app was telling me to go, but not to the shops, not to the main part of Denby's. It was showing me the roundabout at the bottom of Denby's. If you know it, I'll show you anyway on the trip, which was a bit weird. Nobody gets dropped off there if they're going to Denby's. So I found that a little bit weird, but I did ask her, is that where we're going? And I got no response. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, there's the alarm bells there. But believe it or not, that is what it's like being a private hire driver. Sometimes these people do not say hello, goodbye, confirmation of where they're going, where they want to stop. They just sort of point and grunt, and yeah, some of them are extremely rude. So again, it wasn't really anything unusual as such, which I know it sounds really bad, but it really wasn't unusual for a customer to not speak to me, not even confirm where they're going. So I have obviously looked in my rear view mirror, and I can't see this woman in my mirror. She's hiding behind the passenger side headrest, and when you're right over by the window in my car, I can't see them, not from the mirror, and I'm not going to turn my head round to look at them because, well, basically that would be weird. If you were a woman on your own and a cab driver turned round and looked at you like that, you would freak out a little bit if you were a woman on your own, wouldn't you? I'm only looking at it from a woman's point of view. I think I would freak out a little bit being a bloke, being a big bloke as well. Now again, that isn't unusual. A lot of people put their head on the window of the door. It's not the comfortablest place to put your head, but it's not the only reason to do it. I've got cameras in my car, and a lot of people see the cameras and they hide from the cameras, and I get it, they don't want to be on camera. I'll show you what my car looks like from that point of view. So here we are, here's my car with me driving. There is what I mean about the mirror. You cannot see that side of the car at all. Now the camera you're viewing at the moment is a head cam. I'm not on a phone or anything like that. I've got a camera there that also looks into the cab, all right, into the car. I've got another camera there that does both ways, does inside and out. And obviously I've got my normal camera, which is there. I've also got one on the back window, which does the rear. So these people see these cameras and they freak a little bit, and they do hide. So again, it was nothing out of the ordinary that I haven't seen this woman. So what do you think of this camera? This is the Insta360 GO 3. It connects to my baseball cap. I don't normally wear hats, but on this occasion I have, just to show you what it looks like in my car. And it's literally about 2 inches above my eye line, so it literally is what I can see pretty much. Oh, just to let you know, that camera there I have got no control over at all. That goes up into the cloud and it goes off to other people. It's nothing to do with me at all. I can't get the footage off of that camera, which is a good thing for the customer, because if I'm playing up, that footage is there. I cannot delete it or anything. So it's a good thing for the customer, that camera. So we get back to the original story. We're back where we were. That film that I did with the head cam was shot way before this, so I was just going to do a review on it, but I never got round to doing it. Yeah, so that was what that was all about. So we're still on our way to Dorking, where Denby's is, which is what where I'm taking her anyway. That's where she wants to go according to the app anyway. So we're just about to go on to the A24, which takes you straight into Dorking. It's such an easy route from Leatherhead to Dorking. You hardly get any traffic on the A24 in this stretch, unless there's been an accident, which is quite rare. But there's hardly any traffic. It's such a doddle. It really is such a lovely journey. And you can open up as well. It's 50-mile-an-hour speed limit here as well. It does go to 40 and 50 a little bit further down the road, but you know, that's okay. Now, as we're going down this A24, I want to talk to you a little bit. I know I'm going off track a little bit, but I want to talk to you about my mental health. And does anyone remember this video that I did? And here's the thing, I get so embarrassed listening to this myself on this one, because I was so upset. I was so angry, but I was so upset. I was so pissed off because I had so many haters that were hitting me left, right and centre. And it was getting to me. It was getting to me big time. And some of the things that they were emailing me, or they were putting them on YouTube and then deleting them. But when they do that, I get a copy of what they've put. They can do it. They can put a message in and delete it. But I get an email sent to me with every message that is put on. And some of the stuff that they were saying about me, it wasn't about my driving. It wasn't about the content. It was personal. It was about me. I even had death threats. Now, the haters that we have in the they don't like being called haters, by the way, but the ones we have in the comment sections now are nothing to the ones we had back then. The ones back then, I have stopped them being able to comment, and it was about the same sort of 5 or 6 people that were doing it. Again, like I've got now, the 5 or 6 people that keep doing it, but now I've got a few people in the message section that are actually sticking up for me. People like Susie, that the haters don't like her because she says it how it is and she gives it straight back to them, which is really handy for me to have someone on my side. There are a couple of others that do it as well. But when I did that video, I was seriously thinking of stopping the channel, just stopping it. It wasn't worth it. I was being attacked left, right and centre, as I said, and you know, the amount of money that I'd spent to get the channel up and running, the time, the effort and everything else, why was I doing it, you know? And that I was just going to pack it in, and yes, I really think it was affecting my mental health. And I was in a dark place. I've got to admit, I was in a really dark place for a long while. The thing is, I'm a big strong boy. I'm 6'2", 18 stone. We don't need any help from anyone. We're strong, aren't we? Yeah, but not in the head sometimes. So if you're feeling like this, if you really are feeling down, talk to someone. Even if it's that fucking Wombat Dave from the pub, you know, the idiot. Talk to him. You need to get it off your chest if you ever feel like that. Now, it's probably the wrong wording, but how I snapped out of it is just by pure luck, by pure chance. I got an email from a young girl called Linzi, and it gave me such a lift. It was unbelievable. It was just what I needed. She was actually thanking me for all the tips that I do in these videos, and it's helped her pass her driving test at the age of 17. First time and no minors. And what's more impressive with this is that Linzi suffers from autism, and she's also dyslexic like me. Now, being autistic, driving schools wasn't having anything to do with her. They wouldn't teach her until she found a company called Bill Plant. They stepped up and they taught her, and a few months later she's got her certificate and she's passed her test. Now, Linzi thanked me for helping her get through her test, but I can't take any credit from that. That's all down to her and Bill Plant. And the thing is, the truth of the matter is, I think she helped me more than what I helped her. So now Linzi's passed her driving test. She's got her car. She's driving around in Scotland where she lives, and she's catching all these idiots on her dash cam as well. She sends them to me now, and I put them on the channel, and she's known as the Pumpkin on the channel. But Linzi's gone one step further than that, and she's created her own YouTube channel, bit like this one. I will put a link in the description below, but here it is on the screen now. So go over there, guys, give her a sub and just help her on her way on her new venture of being a YouTuber. It does take a lot of time and a lot of effort to put these videos together, but it's not until you do it yourself you realise how much time and effort it takes to actually make these videos. So as we can see up the top there, she's got 46 subscribers. Let's see what we can do about that. And the other thing I need to say is that when I did actually publish this video, which I'm really disappointed that I published it because it showed my weakness, I got so many comments on here of encouragement and everything else, and that was really nice as well. So just want to say everyone that commented on this with a positive view, I owe you guys a big thank you too. Now the last few videos I've done, I've actually covered quite a bit on private hire driving, and what's about to happen, it is part of the job. Unfortunately, it does happen from time to time, and it's not nice, but it's something that we have to put up with because, yeah, it's part and parcel of the job, as they say. Now, I do have quite a few followers that are autistic, and this is a message to Layla. I don't want you getting upset about this, okay? Because I'm okay and my car is okay. We're all fine, okay? It's just telling the story, what's happened here. So please, please, please do not get upset about this. So we get back to the story now. And we're getting closer and closer to the destination. I still haven't seen this woman. I haven't a clue of what she looks like. And that's on me. That's a really bad error by me. So I'm thinking I've got to talk to you now because the place where you want to be dropped off is quite an unusual place to be dropped off, right at a roundabout here. So I say to her, you just want to be dropped off at this roundabout. You don't want me to take you right up to the shops of Denby. And then she shouted at me saying, I want to be taken to Dorking. Dorking. And then she starts a good impression of being the Tasmanian devil. She starts punching and kicking the car while screaming Dorking, 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 while she's kicking and punching everything. My headrest was bouncing up and down off my head. And I was like, all right, you just got to tell me where you want to be dropped off and I'll take you wherever. And we got about here and she punched me in the face. Literally punched me right under the eye. So I went round the roundabout where the app was telling me to drop her off, which was right over there on the left hand side where that car is. On the day there was loads of cars parked there, so I couldn't park there. And we got about here and she punched me in the face again. And it was like, all right, just stop it. Just tell me where you want me to go. Just tell me where you want me to go. And we got roughly about here and she punched me in the face yet again. And I was driving a lot faster than this. Trust me, I wanted to get her out of the car. And there was no lorry here. This was completely empty on the day. And I spun the car round here just like this, literally like this, but 10 times faster. And I literally stopped here. So the first thing I do, remember, I've not actually seen this woman. I don't even know what she looks like. The first thing I do is have a look in the mirror and see what state my face is, because she's given me 3 bloody good wallops. And this is what I look like. Adrian! Adrian! Yo, Adrian! I did it! No, slight exaggeration. It was just a flesh wound. No, there was a couple of little marks underneath my eye and I did have a bloodshot eye. Alright, the bloodshot eye might have been me the night before being pissed out of my head, falling off a table. But you know what I mean. I had 2 marks on my face that shouldn't have been there, not going out to work. And the thing is, if the app was wrong, I would have taken her to wherever she wanted to go. All she had to do was tell me where she wanted to go and she couldn't do it. She just shouted out Dorking all the time. So anyhow, I've got out of my car here with the raging ump, and I mean raging ump. And I slammed my door really hard and it's sort of like, what are you doing? It's your car, you know? Calm down sort of thing. This is after though, you know, at the time I'm bloody raging. So I open up her door, almost take the door off the bloody hinges as well. And the thing is, she was on the opposite side of the car. But I've opened the door and she's on my side of the car now. And that just sort of like, I found that kind of weird because there's this great big guy that's got the raging ump with her. And she's moved towards me. She's come towards me and instead of cowering over to the other side of the car, she's come to the door that I'm opening with a rage. And remember, this is the first time after I've opened this door that I've actually seen what this woman looks like. And we've been driving, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles, something like that. I don't know. And this is the first time I've actually clocked her. And it felt like I was standing there looking at her for about 5 minutes, but in reality it was probably about 5 or 6 seconds. I just stopped. I just literally stopped and froze. It was like a light bulb moment, you know. I instantly knew that there was something wrong with her. The fact that this woman was probably in her late 50s, early 60s, she was wearing Winnie the Pooh pyjamas, and she had a fucking tea cosy on her head. I kid you not, it was a tea cosy. It even had a picture of a teapot on the fucking tea cosy. So I'm going to continue with the drive now while I carry on talking about this, because once I saw her, I totally changed. I totally changed. It was the rage had just went from me, and I shouldn't feel sorry for someone like this, but I felt sorry for her. And I literally crouched down next to her and said, "Look what you've done to my face. I should be phoning the police now about this." And she didn't say anything back. So then I said, "Where exactly do you want me to go? Do you still want me to take you to wherever it is you want to go? You obviously don't want to go to Denby's." And she still didn't say anything. I said, do you want me to take you to Dorking High Street? Is that where you're thinking of going?" And she said, "Yes, Dorking High Street." I said, "Fine, we can go there, but you cannot lay another finger on me. You've got to sit in the back and just calm down, all right? Just calm down." Which she did, and we're doing the drive now to Dorking High Street. Now I know that a lot of drivers would have thrown her out there and then, but I couldn't throw her out. Not looking the way she was looking. She's an easy target. I mean, I know we're driving during the day when I was doing this as well, but you know, she's in her pajamas. She's got a fucking tea cozy on her head. You know, I can't leave her in the middle of nowhere because there is nothing there other than Denby's, which is right up the top of the hill. So, you know, a lot of other drivers probably wouldn't do that. Let me know what you would have done in this situation. Now, after a relatively quiet drive, well, I say relatively, there was no words whatsoever throughout the whole drive. Until obviously now, after this second bit, after she beat the fuck out of me, I'm chatting to her all the time to calm her down and try and work out exactly where she wants to go. I can't think of any sort of sounds horrible, but any sort of like institutions or something like that she's going to, any sort of daycare sort of places. I don't know them round here, if there is any of that sort of thing round here, or doctors or something like that. But she did sort of murmur a few words to me when we get a little bit further up the road here. She tells me that to go into the car park where Dorking Football Club is, and obviously that's where we go, and that's where I pull up, and you'll see me do that in a second. But we live and learn, don't we? I will never ever be looking at my app when someone's getting in the car again. I will be always looking to see where they are, and when they do get in the car, I will turn round to look at them now and say hi or hello, whatever, all right, depending what mood I'm in, really. But I will never ever be that bad at trying to, you know, I was looking at the app and not looking at her, and not even seeing her until that time when I almost ripped the door off the hinges. That, you know, as I say, you live and learn, and I will never ever do anything like that again. Yeah, I mean, if I was doing night shifts, my attitude would be totally different. I would even have the door locks on night time. Because, yeah, I've heard some terrible things that happen to night drivers. So you keep the door locked until they turn up, and then you open them once you get to see them. You get to look at them, and then you can open up the door. So we're coming up to where she wanted to for me to turn right here. And this is where Dorking Football Club is, if you're interested in the football. And round the back here, there's a great big car park. And I'm talking to her all the time here, just mumbo jumbo nonsense, you know, a bit like what I do normally on this channel. So we come into the car park here, and roughly where this car is parking, I literally drove straight into there, and she wanted to go behind us now. I've gone past where she wants to go, but I wanted to park up in a proper sensible place, and I did want to check that she was okay. Yeah, so roughly where that car's parked, I pulled over, and I opened the door for her even, and made sure that she's okay. You definitely sure that this is where you want to go? And she was like, yeah, this is it, like, you know. And she even thanked me. Yeah, she said thank you, and I said okay, not a problem. And off she went. I finished the job on the app, and I drove up here the way I am driving now, and I needed to pull over to check the car out, see what damage she's caused to the car, and just take a break. I just had to sort of have a little bit of a breather, because I was like, you can't just jump straight into another job straight after something like that. So around about here, I've pulled over to the right hand side and parked up and got out the car. Now, bear in mind, I've just watched this woman walk away from me. She was wearing pajamas, grey pajamas, Winnie the Pooh grey pajamas, and they wasn't wet. Put it that way. They wasn't wet, because when I opened the door of the car, she'd pissed all over the seat. She'd actually pissed everywhere. But her pajamas were dry. So how did she done that? She must have pulled down her trousers and pissed in my car. Yeah, great, eh? And there was obviously a few more scratches and stuff like that in the inside of the car, where she had literally kicked and punched everything. Yeah, on the hard plastic, and it is quite easily to actually scratch up that hard plastic, but they weren't there before her trip, put it that way. So since COVID, I've had loads of cleaning materials and stuff like that in the car, and I've kept them in the car, thankfully. So I had to clean up the car while parked back there, and before I could actually do anything. This job was £9. It took me from start to finish over an hour. Obviously, because of the clean up and me having to have a little bit of a break to compose myself, it took over an hour. I did contact the company that gave me this job, because this woman is a danger to herself. I shouldn't really mention the name of the company, but it's the company the big company that begins with a U and ends in Uber. Yeah, I did contact them and said that, you know, this what had happened and everything, and their exact words to me was, "We will ban you from having her jobs again." Ban me, not her, ban me from having her jobs again. Oh, thanks, like I really want her jobs again. Yeah, so they let her carry on doing what she's doing, but I won't be affected by it. I won't ever have her again. Yeah, and I did say the job was in the wrong location by about 2 or 3 miles. No, didn't affect the price of the job neither. So I was stuck with the same price, and the cleanup was down to me, because the unfortunate thing about it is I cleaned up my own car. If I'd have taken it to a professional and got a receipt, I could have offered that to Uber and they would have paid it and charged her for it. But I cleaned it up myself. Because I cleaned it up myself, I didn't even get any of that money back neither. Yeah, so this is how we're treated in the private hire business, by the way. So anyway, guys, that is it for today. It's a bit of a different video, and I hope you stayed till the end. So if you did, thanks a lot for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.